So I've provided the library, Beautiful Soup, in the lecture notes as an attachment. So just go ahead and download that. And I'll just open up here my downloads folder, and here's my beautifulsoup.py. So the alternative of downloading this standalone file here is to actually download the source code and build the file yourself. Since I didn't want to get into all of that building process, I just provided the file for you, okay? But again, if whenever they update this library, maybe it would be a good idea to download the source code and build it yourself. So now I'm just going to navigate to my project, and inside of the lib folder, I'm just going to copy this file and paste it in. Okay, so that's that. Now I can simply import it here. So I'll say from lib.beautifulsoup import beautifulsoup. Okay. Since I don't want to load 1000 recipes all the time into my parser because I just want to test, and when I'm testing, I just want to test on one website. So what we're going to do is we're not going to load the URLs, but instead I'm going to create a new get request handler inside of this one. So def get. And what this request handler will do is it will forward the request to the post request handler, okay? So in this way, I have a handy way of actually, hitting this URL in my browser, and my browser will create a GET request, and this GET request will forward the request to the POST request handler, okay? So let's see how we do this. Let's just simply write self.post. Okay, so that's that. And here, now we're expecting a URL which is not being passed by this get. Okay, so let's comment this out for just a second. Well, for the time being that we're going to be testing this out, and let's say URL is equal to, and let's just hard code it in. Okay, so for the purpose of testing, we're just going to hard code these URLs in. Okay, and the next thing we need to do is we actually need to download the content of this URL. Okay. So to do this, we can import a library of code which comes with the Google SDK. So we can say from google.appengine.api import URL fetch. Okay. So this URL fetch library is responsible for grabbing this URL and actually sending a request to this URL and downloading the content of the HTML. Okay. So we can say request is equal to URL fetch and the URL. Okay, and actually this is maybe a response because it gets the response of that URL. So if response, then we can say HTML is equal to response.content. Okay, this is simply a method of this class which is returned by the fetch method of URL fetch library. Okay, so now we can go ahead and see if we're actually importing Beautiful Soup correctly and if it's doing something. So let's say print, or let's say soup is equal to Beautiful Soup, and in parentheses we can pass in the HTML, and now we can print soup to see if something is coming out. Okay, so this looks good. Let's go here and hit this URL. Okay, and here we see a bunch of HTML. Great. So it seems like this is working, and let's just search for our chicken here. Okay, so we see a bunch of links with chicken. Okay, so I'm fairly confident this is what we're looking for. See here, bourbon chicken. Okay, good, nice.